Beneteau have been doing some really brave things of late, and behind me here is their latest boat, the flagship of the GT range, the GT50. Now, they have done some really clever things with this. They've gone right back to basics and decided that people no longer want the huge high-volume coupes where the deck ends up being above head height when you're standing on the pontoon, and gone right back to basics to create a low, lean, really cool looking boat, and it has some very clever ideas on. So let's go and take a closer look. My name is Hugo Andreae, you're watching Motorboat and Yachting. Let's go check it out. Straight away we can see how much closer the whole boat is to the water, rather than these tall sports cruisers that are basically just sort of flybridges without the flybridge. Everything here is much closer to the water. This platform here, this huge hydraulic bathing platform, is only about 60 centimetres above the surface of the water. It's a 400 kilo platform, so you can store a Williams sport jet on here or a Sea-Doo Spark. We've got a really big bathing ladder under here. And I know it's a small thing, but really nice to see you've got proper handholds when you get up, so you can pull yourself up rather than trying to teeter over the top of it. If you go for the hydraulic platform, you also get this lovely ladder that drops down into the sea itself, so you can walk in and off. Obviously much easier, safer too. We have got a garage under here. I can probably demonstrate that to you. It's not a full garage for a large inflated tender. It's more a kind of water sports toy cupboard, but it's a really good size. You can get a deflated tender in there, but think more sea bobs, inflatable paddle boards and the like. You can also get one of the Scanstrut inflators in here, so lots of space to store toys, fenders, life rafts, all of that jazz. Closes down quite quickly. There we go, put that down. And then when you come on to the cockpit itself, this is where it starts to get really interesting. First thing to point out, obviously those big folding side platforms. They are standard, really big size, and again, they're only 90 centimeters off the surface of the water. So really, really open. But this is what I absolutely love, this whole sociable diner area here. You can see this whole section is open. You've got these two facing benches, but also the fact that they're curved round, so you get these lovely angles. It's much more sort of interactive. You can sit on either side, chat to your friends. It's a much more natural seating environment than sitting in a row facing forward. We've also got a really big versatile table. This can fold either way. I might just temporarily take that bowl off just to demonstrate, but it is a full teak table, so you can either open the whole thing out, so you've got a massive dining space, or you can fold it the other way, and then you've got walk around either side. So it's sociable, it's versatile, it's very simple, nothing to go wrong either. Other thing to point out, very small thing, but here we've got little USB sockets in the table leg. Ideal for your kids, they're always needing to charge their phones. Great to have it in the place where they don't have to disappear down into the cabin. Steps up on either side to the foredeck. We'll go round on the port one in a minute, but this is where the bulkhead is. So you can see there's a large overhead window here. That is all manual too. I can probably just pull it down one-handed because it's got supports, but very, very keen just to keep everything simple, reliable. The fewer electrics there are on board, the less things that there are to go wrong. But that is where it all becomes interior, and then we've got a glass door on this side. But before we do that, let's just have a little look up on the foredeck. Nice wide side decks. Opening window, we'll see that from inside. This is the Alpine version, so things like the stainless steel has all been blacked out, along with the cleats, and of course that very fancy paint job, but retractable cleats too, and then this lovely foredeck area here. Love the fact that it's a nice sort of sunken well in here, so you feel really safe when you're sitting down there. You don't feel too exposed. And then you've got the sunbeds raised up on this level with those backrests, so very comfortable to lay out there too. Quick word about the anchoring system. Because we've got this reverse angle bow, you do need to get the anchor a long way forward, but they've thought of that. The whole thing sits down here. That comes up electronically, swings out over the front of the boat. All the instructions printed here just to remind you how to do it. But cleverly, when you have got it out, you've also got a smaller locker lid there. So you can put the main hatch down and just have the anchor projecting out of that little hole there. Very fancy lighting systems on this. You can probably see the purple. It isn't flashing in real life, that's just the camera that makes it look like that. Quite cool the way there's a little cutout under that windscreen there. You can see these are just manual prop-ups too. Really big sunroof, we'll have a look at that from the inside. Should point out that all the fuel and so on happens down this starboard side under nice little hatches like here. Also worth pointing out that the teak they've used here is actually engineered Iroquois. You can see lots of little strips all glued together. It's just a bit more environmentally friendly than using raw teak. One other thing to point out while they're in the cockpit, this button here, just press that once. Maybe press and hold it once, and oh no, it has started, there we go. I was a bit too previous, but you'll see, folding down from this overhang here, we have a 50-inch TV. How cool is that? So you can sit in the cockpit, and you'll notice that it even actually goes all the way around a little bit beyond vertical, so that it's the perfect viewing angle when you're sitting at this seat here. Really cool idea. And then one touch of the button again, and up it goes. Now this wet bar hay, clearly we've got the galley behind it, but also worth pointing out, on this side we've got a little shelf that pulls out, and that is so that you can equip it with a sort of camping style grill. You can have a barbecue outside if you want to. You can also, in this space here, you can fit an ice maker, or I believe an ice maker that goes in there. There are of course fridges and things inside, but that's where you can have an ice maker out in the cockpit too. Controls for the two folding platforms, you have to press two buttons. They're a little bit more secure. Love these little extensions of the window here, just means that you get a bit more wind protection when you're sitting here at this zone. Now as you move inside, this is where you get that glass bulkhead. That big window folds down. We've got a swing door. I should also point out that you can, if you want to, get an extension. You can see it on this boat here. It's a fabric extension, much like that one. Comes out a little bit further, and that enables you to have canopy covers that wrap all the way around this outer cockpit area too. So you can use this in northern countries in the winter. You can enclose this area. Most of the time though, this is going to be where you want to keep it air conditioned or heated or whatever it may be. But note again, we've got lots of convertibility. So we've got windows on both sides. Once again, worth noting, these are manual. Very simple, very quick, utterly bulletproof, nothing to go wrong. Sunroof overhead is electric. That's clearly much too big to be manual, but also quick, quiet, and then when it comes down, it's locked into place and shuts down for really good refinement. So this is the main galley area, quite deep, and that is because you've got these huge big refrigerated drawers. So two of them, one above the other, all the usual facilities, sink under there. Worth pointing out that there is a special place for this to stow in this cupboard here. It's a pull-out tap, all particularly stylish with this Alpine. Everything is black rather than stainless steel. Kenyan grill over on this side, little pop-up retainers to make sure your saucepan doesn't slip away, and storage for knives, cutlery, all that kind of thing. But the main storage for that is over on this side. You can see we've got special cutouts for all the glasses, all the crockery and so on will go in these drawers here, all soft close. I won't open them all, but that's where all your kit is, right next to the galley where you want it to be. And there is, I believe, a dishwasher, a small half-size dishwasher under there. There's also a bin that is on this side. So you've got bin and a microwave down there. Those both pull out on little sliders. Now the Helm station, really nice and intimate. You've got this lovely little seating area over on this side. So when you're underway, you can either shut it all up or open it up, but you've got this lovely, secure, sociable seating area right next to the Helm. Gives you a nice elevated view out so you can face forward. You can chat to the skipper. Again, another manual opening window over on this side. Very stylish sort of bucket style seat. This has got more Alpine special. This has got a sort of carbon fibre finish on there. The standard one is a little bit plainer, GRP. Much the same with this dashboard. You've got the carbon fibre coating on this Alpine version. I think as standard, it's stitched leather. You can see more of these little clever glowing lights behind there. And then sitting in the helm station, lovely clear view forward. Is a single piece screen, so you've got no mullions in the middle of it. These ones are a little bit thick, but you've got lovely tall glass on here, so you can see through there. Simple manual opening window on this side. These are the controls for the big sunroof. I'm not going to go the whole way, but you get the picture. That will come down and shut there. But it does mean you can also stand up and look through the top of it. Really nice to be able to have a completely uninterrupted view and get that wind in the hair feeling for when you want it. Triple Garmin screens, all coordinated, so Garmin now own Luminshore and the Fusion sound system, so it's all integrated, all can be controlled through these triple screens. I like the fact that they're little sort of floating pods as well, rather than integrated into the dash. Just makes it all a little bit neater, smaller, more futuristic. You know how difficult it is to get to things when you want to work on them? Oh, there we go. Look at that. The whole thing lifts up and you've got full access to all the electronics. Anything goes wrong with it, you can very quickly get to it, sort it out. Small thing, but very, very clever. We have access to all the breaker switches and so on in here too. Yet more electronics, because it's no secret that things do go wrong on boats, so it's very handy if you can get to them. Now, having that lower overall height does mean that there simply isn't room for the full beam owner's cabin. That was a deliberate choice, but instead you get two really useful separate cabins. So let's start in the smallest one. This is the single cabin, midships. Nice size hull window in there. Sure, the headroom isn't tall enough to stand up, but plenty of enough space to sit up in bed and read a book. Bit of storage, more under there. You know what? I'd be very happy in here. If it's just the one of you rather than two, perfectly comfortable. Ideal for kids, but perfectly big enough for an adult too. On this side, we have a really versatile double or twin. You can see we've got two separate singles. If you want twins, that's just a fill-in cushion to make it into one big double. Much the same in terms of headroom. You've still got that decent window there. You've got a couple of opening portholes in it so you can get some fresh air. Enough room to sit up in bed and enough room to stand up. I'm 6 foot. I can just about an inch or two above my head. So you've got plenty of space to get changed at the foot of the bed. Rather nice little vanity unit down here. Plenty of storage behind here. I rather like it. You've got three decent cabins on a 50-footer. The day heads is here, so this is the shared bathroom for those two cabins. Separate shower behind sort of perspex finish there. This has got the sort of Alpine black finish. This would normally be white, a little bit brighter, but perhaps a bit less sporty. Quite smart marble effect. Heads in the corner, bit of storage. For a day heads or a shared bathroom, not too bad at all. Owner's cabin is forward, and I was rather surprised just how spacious this is. You've got surprising amount of beam, there's good width. They've also managed to get the bed nice and low. A lot of the time on these bow cabins, you find that the bed has to be raised up in order to clear the flare in the hull. But this, they've kept it nice and low. That gives much better sort of feeling of space and headroom above it. There is plenty of headroom. I'm standing at the door here. We've got probably 4 or 5 inches above my head. So yes, it's a bow cabin, but actually it's a surprisingly airy, spacious one. We've got hull windows down both sides. The blind is down on that side. Opening portholes so you get plenty of fresh air. Lots of headroom and clearance above the bed. Relatively simple finish on here, but this is in fact fabric. It's not GRP, it's fabric there. Little bit exposed GRP there. But actually a very comfortable forward owner's cabin. Big TV on the bulkhead here. Plenty of storage behind the doors. And of course, ensuite bathroom. Just point out we've got a little vanity unit on that side. Also, all these reading lights have USB sockets underneath them, so you can charge your phone by your bed. Small thing, valuable thing. And then through into the ensuite bathroom. Nice big mirror on the wall, opening porthole in there, another one in the shower so it doesn't get too steamed up. Overhead rain shower. Might just turn the lights on in there if I can. Oh, wrong one. There we go. That cheers things up a bit, makes it a little bit brighter, but very decent ensuite bathroom. Right. Make our way back, noticing that there are access panels in all the floors here. And let's go and have a quick peek at the engine room and a bit more of a discussion about performance. Right, so access to the engine room is in the middle of the cockpit, but before I open that, I just wanted to show you what happens under this bench, because you can't have too much storage on a boat, and here is another really useful void. Plenty of space, all nicely lined. You can get a lot of kit in there. So here is the hatch into the engine room. You can see there's a bit of a cutout in the table mount there just to make that a bit easier. I can drop down in here and you'll see we have a pair of Volvo Penta IPS 650 engines, so 480 horsepower each. They give a top speed of around 31.5 knots. You can see there are the pod drives there, and then if I spin round you'll see we've got a Seakeeper stabilizer forward under here, under the Yanmar Marza generator, and then we have two options for the fuel tanks. You can see the fuel tanks either side, got one there, one there. A standard, I think it's 900 litres each, but you can get an extended one for 1200 litres each. That should extend the range from around about 180 miles to about 250 nautical miles. So really good to have that option for an extra long range tank. Has batteries over there and a bit of space if you need more emergency storage down there. Let's finish this video sitting in this lovely aft cockpit area. Now, prices for this start at about 950,000 euros ex VAT. But I'm really impressed at what they've done with this. I think it makes a lot of sense to go back to a more traditional form of lower, leaner, sportier sports cruiser. After all, it's in the name, sports cruiser. And the fact that they've decided to compromise on some things like the full-beam owner's cabin in order to achieve that, I think will really pay off. Combined with that attractive pricing, a lot of clever features, this is how people tend to use boats. So do let me know what you make of it, whether you think they've made the right choice there. I'd be fascinated to read your comments. And as always, thank you very much for watching.